Ada Wong is an iconic character. She has been in many games and movies over the years. However, although she has been in many projects, she's a character that's shrouded in mystery, that mainly is always concerned with her bottom line and self-interest, except when it comes to Leon. With her actions, she is truly worthy of the name Spy. There is another side to Ada, a side that has progressing throughout the entire Resident Evil series, and in this video, I want to go ahead and explain that. We will explore the character with the biggest mystery and a secret identity. This is the dark side of Ada Wong. I want to start this video by saying Ada Wong is not a good person. She often looks after herself, fulfilling whatever bottom line she wants by any means necessary, by selling and stealing bioweapons and information. The first time in canon we heard of Ada is her dating John, a scientist that was working for Umbrella. You can find this little tidbit in Resident Evil 1. We know that she was just pretending to get information from him. Ada Wong has always been a ruthless spy since the very first time we actually saw the character, but behind the persona Ada Wong lies a very different person. Ada Wong is a persona, as we don't know the real name of the real person behind Ada. The person behind Ada is a woman filled with emotions. The only time we see this version of Ada is within Resident Evil 3. You see, after you beat the game a number of times, you unlock something called the epilogue files. There is one on Ada that shows her emotional state after Resident Evil 2, willing to give up the Ada Wong persona. The Resident Evil 6 files also confirm that it's not her real name. In the epilogue files, she holds herself while looking in a mirror, unable to hold back the tears. She is holding herself in a fragile-like way, holding her scar, saying that this is Ada's scar, that she's not Ada Wong anymore, saying goodbye to the persona Ada Wong. This depicts someone who is struggling with who they are. The reason she is in this state is through her meeting with Leon. Leon changed this spy, growing compassion within her. In the Leon A scenario in the original Resident Evil 2, she tells Leon to leave her as she doesn't want to harm him.
That's why I told you to leave without me, but you wouldn't listen.
In Leon's B scenario, she says that she's just a woman who fell in love with him.
I'm just a woman who fell in love with you. Nothing more.
There's also the Resident Evil Dark Side Chronicle version of this scene. After Leon says he won't leave without her, she says that she knew that he would say something like that despite barely knowing each other. Later, instead of escaping right away, she gives him a rocket launcher to kill the tyrant, saving his life. Ada nearly jeopardized her own escape, as we saw in Umbrella Chronicles, to help out Leon, as she gains nothing. Ada is usually a cold and calculated person, except when it comes to the cop that took a bullet for her and refused to leave without her. This had made such a huge impact on Ada, so much so when she goes home, she looks at herself in the mirror while feeling her scar and her body, not being able to hold back tears. She says she wants to basically leave Ada behind, telling herself that this isn't her scar, it's Ada's, only to take up the name again moments later. She can't leave this life behind. This shows Ada Wong is not her real personality, and underneath that hard exterior lies a soft and, well, emotional character. I love this canon piece of lore because it shows that deep inside she has conflict within herself. She may push that side of herself down and away so Ada Wong can come out, but to her, when she's alone, she is not Ada Wong. She is, well, we don't even know her name, do we? After the events of Raccoon City, the characters will change and evolve through time. Leon becomes depressed and is dealing with the realities that the war on BOWs will never end. Chris Redfield will lose so many soldiers and allies over the years that he becomes a lone soldier, unable to trust others, afraid that they will get hurt. Jill becomes traumatized after Wesker used her in Resident Evil 5. Rebecca becomes a scientist. Claire joins many different organizations, and so on and so forth. One could argue Ada has not changed at all, but her compassion has risen up. Since Resident Evil 2, she has saved Leon's life while helping him on various missions, even moments when she doesn't actually need to save him. There are these moments in the original where she is straight up worried about Leon, even though it has nothing to do with her mission directly. Although saving Leon ultimately does help her goal, she does it to protect him, not to just simply use him like she did with John in the past. At the end of Resident Evil 4, she did not give the Las Plagas to Wesker directly. Now, she did steal the Las Plagas virus, but she didn't sell it to Wesker directly, even though Wesker would get his hands on the virus anyways. In the remake version ending of Resident Evil 4, it seems she didn't give it to him because Wesker mentioned billions of people may be harmed. It seems that Capcom wants to mold Ada into more of an anti-hero, but has a lot more compassion. In Resident Evil 6, we see a side of Ada that is carried not by a job or a paycheck, but by morals. That is very important. Her involvement in Resident Evil 6 is not about a job, but taking down Carla and Simmons after they set her up. During this time, she is constantly helping the other characters from the shadows, like Jake and Sherry for example. Both of these characters are saved by Ada as she gives them cover fire, and once again she also helps Leon and the big forehead lady. I mean Helena. During her campaign, there is a moment where she helps these random people on a roof, and she does say that there's been enough senseless death. Here is that scene.
Maybe I can at least buy these people some time. We've all seen enough senseless death for one day.
And of course, we cannot forget Ada's ending. Ada's final heroic act at the end of Resident Evil 6 is such a great moment. And it's not just her ending of Resident Evil 6. To this day, we have not seen Ada again in a canon movie or a game. This is like where her story ends. The moment when she destroyed the clone and the lab as she is disgusted by everything is such a powerful moment for the character, saying this is beyond humanity. The same woman who canonically took the G-Virus, stole the Las Plagas twice, enticed rebels to attack the capital, the woman who was willing to kill for her mission is now disgusted by the violence and the viruses as well as the senseless death as she destroyed the clone and the entire lab with this epic music playing. Ada has not changed as much as everybody else. I think we can acknowledge that. Hell, we may never see her again after Resident Evil 6, but I hope she continues down this path and they continue developing her character, and maybe we'll get to the point where all the characters retire, including Ada, finally living the life she wants to live. Yes, we know almost nothing about the real Ada. All we know is that there is a part of her that doesn't want to be Ada Wong anymore, and that side of her is slowly breaking free and coming to the surface. The Ada Wong we know may one day be just a memory, but that has to be her willing to give up the life she doesn't want to live. When we look at Ada, we see a very strong, confident person, but inside, she's just a woman crying in front of the mirror, wanting to let this life go. And this is the dark side of Ada Wong.
We're beyond sympathy at this point. We're beyond humanity.